He thought it was kids out here setting off fireworks.
That's what Arcadia Police Sergeant Larry Glocker thought was happening around midnight on New Year's Eve when he spotted lights in the middle of a 50-acre cemetery. But when he exited his patrol car to investigate, he walked into a much different scenario.
All the sergeant was going to say is, you guys need to get out of here. That was it. And they'd have been on their way.
But instead, two unknown suspects ran from the sergeant through a dark and unlit cemetery. A few hundred yards later, the officer caught up with one of the suspects, and that's when a seemingly harmless night turned violent.
The subject was unwilling to show both his hands and pulled a sidearm and fired 3 times at the officer, striking him once in the chest, once in the arm, and then the 3rd round missed.
The suspect in this case was so brazen that he fired off 3 shots at the sergeant despite the fact that he was only about 6 feet away. And the only reason the sergeant is back on duty right now is because of this vest.
It saved his life that night.
Gunfire was exchanged between the two, with 4 of the sergeant's bullets lodged in this tree. At that point, the suspect started running with the bullet-injured sergeant in close pursuit. However, he managed to get away. The question now is, who were these men and why were they running?
We have no idea. We don't know whether he had a warrant.
The first suspect is described as tall and thin with an Old English tattoo wrapped around his neck. The second suspect is shorter, around 5'7", with a stocky build and a squared-off haircut. And both, without a doubt, should be considered dangerous.
Somebody that do something like this to an officer, they'd shoot a city officer, they'd shoot a deputy, they'd shoot a state trooper. They'll shoot anybody. They don't care. We need to get this guy off the street.
Arcadia is a small town and people talk. What officers are hoping for now is that someone will do the right thing and call Crime Stoppers with what they know or what they've heard about the shooters. And for the right information, a cash reward will be sent their way. For Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers, I'm Trish Routte.